macaroons. Not the same as macarons, and I will detail that in the lecture. Okay? The first part of our recipe is that we have to make a pastry cream. Now, if you think you've never had pastry cream before, I guarantee you have. You've probably had it in an eclair. You've probably had it inside a donut. You've probably had it inside another baked good, or even vanilla pudding. So you've already eaten it, but maybe you didn't know how to make it. So pastry cream is really the custard portion that makes the coconut macaroon really silky and velvety. So that's what we're going to make first. So what do I have here? In my pot, I have my milk, and I've also added the vanilla extract. Here, I have my egg yolk plus cake flour and the smaller amount of sugar. So I've whisked that together. You see it's real pasty. Now, you see here that my milk is steaming. Okay? It is ready to temper, and I'll explain what tempering is as well in the lecture. So we're going to temper, which means that we just add very, very slowly to our mixture. So since I only have two hands here, I got to do it a little at a time. Okay, there we go. So now I'll add a little bit more. And what we're doing is we're introducing opposite temperatures. Okay, we have the milk mixture, which is hot. We have the yolk mixture, which is cold. Now, if we were to just dump everything in together without doing this tempering process, we would have scrambled eggs. Okay, scrambled eggs are great, but not in this application. Okay, so we're not done. See this watery mixture? We need to cook it. So we're going to switch to our rubber spatula, and we're going to put our mixture back into the bowl. Back into the pot. And now we're going to cook it on the heat. And you want to use your spatula to make sure, as best you can, move it around. So what's going to happen is you're going to make a thick pudding mixture. Okay, and ours happens to be vanilla flavored. Now, let's say that we change up the flavor. That would be a really interesting detail. So let's say you wanted to do coffee extract in here. Then you would have coconut coffee macaroons. Let's say you wanted to use an alcohol, Kahlua or amaretto or rum or something like that. That would be really tasty. Okay, so these are some different ways that you could just jazz up or make your items a little bit more personalized or customizable. Okay, so as you can see here, I am mixing, and you see the steam coming up. So we're waiting right now for two things. We're waiting for the starches to gelatinize, so the cake flour that's in here, I'm waiting for that to thicken. And I'm also waiting for the egg yolk to set, egg yolk to cook. Okay, but again, we're not making scrambled eggs. So we have to make sure that we don't overcook this. Okay, so it's starting to thicken just a little, and I can tell because my spatula is a little bit more and more difficult to stir. Okay, you can also see it here. We have chunks coming, and we got to keep mixing until it's all homogeneous. Okay, coming, coming, coming. We got that thick vanilla pudding thing going. Oh, close. If you have it not homogeneous, then you might have big pieces here and there that aren't mixed properly. And there we have it. We'll take this off the heat, turn the heat off, and I want to show you what this mixture looks like. Okay, so this is what the mixture looks like. It looks like a very, very thick vanilla pudding, and this is going to be basically the essential part of our coconut macaroon. So let's scrape off as much of that as we can. Okay, and just let it cool in the pot. Okay, now here is our second bowl. Our second bowl, it has egg whites, it has the sweetened shredded coconut or coconut flakes. It also has the larger amount of sugar, and both of these mixtures have added a pinch of salt to them as well. Okay, so we just take this and we're just going to mix it so that the egg white gets incorporated. Okay, once the egg white gets incorporated, you'll see that it becomes a more wet mixture. But right now, because it's just introduced, it's very dry. Okay, so here we will mix mix, and you can see now that it's getting a little bit more wet. You can see that. I can smell the coconut. It smells very nice. Perfect. So you see we have this kind of big piece of dough really. We're going to add our just made pastry cream to this. Now, if you had pastry cream, let's say left over from another recipe, you could use it in this, but you'd have to loosen it up first, okay? Refrigerated pastry cream is very tight, and it can also be very chunky, and so you want to smooth it out first before you use it. Let's use the rubber spatula again, and all we're doing is mixing this in, okay? Ooh, it smells really good. I wish you all could smell it as well. Okay, so we just mix this, and the warmth from that pastry cream is helping to kind of get all of this mixed together. Okay, so now it's loosened a little bit more. Okay, and I just want to grab, you see these chunks here? I want to get those off and get them into my mixture, into my batter. Okay, just trying to use the rubber spatula again to get it nice and smooth. So, as you can see, no big chunks of pastry cream. We're ready to scoop. Okay, so I'm using a scoop here that's about 2 ounces. You can use any size that you would like. Okay, just make sure that they are even. Again, this is called a portion scoop, not an ice cream scoop. Okay, so we have our scoop here, nice and flat. Okay, we want to make sure every piece is even. So we'll put them about 2 inches apart. Okay, get these properly scooped so that they all bake evenly. Okay, they are not only going to look pretty because they all look the same, but they're going to bake at the same temperature and time. Okay, so with a 2 ounce scoop, this will probably make about, I want to say 8 to 10 macaroons. Okay, I'm just trying to get them flat. We're almost done. Okay, actually this one should have a little more. And with this tiny bit that I have right here, I'm not going to just plop it onto the parchment because this piece will burn. So I will use a little bit of it and just add it to some of my macaroons, and that way it cooks in with the others. All right, so now we've got everything scooped, and we will put this in the oven now. This is going to bake at approximately 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And again, if you want to protect the bottom of your sheet pan, use a second sheet pan. Okay, we're going to put these in the oven. Open. We're rotating our coconut macaroons so that they bake evenly on all sides. Oven open. Time to check on our coconut macaroons. Okay? We're going to close the oven so we do not release too much hot air. Okay? Now take a look. You might be tempted to say that these are done. They are not quite done. Okay? How can you tell? Because you can still see some white pockets in the center. You want all of those to be really, really caramelized and golden brown. And that way you also will know the inside is cooked. So we're going to put it in for another 2 to 3 minutes. Oven open. Gorgeous. All right, so our coconut macaroons are done. You see they are deep golden brown. Once they cool, I can show you the underside. Oh, I can show you the underside now. Look at how deep golden brown and even that is. Great. Time to eat.